Thank you very much, Vice Chancellor of MOSHI Cooperative College, Professor Sife. I also recognize the presence of Dr. Jeremy Mbundi, Chairperson of the Council of Cooperative, University of Kenya. So it is an honor to have this privilege of officiating the opening ceremony of this very important conference. And I want to thank the organizers for inviting me. For those from outside MOSHI, particularly those from outside Tanzania, more important, those from Finland, I welcome you to MOSHI, I welcome you to Tanzania. And I hope you'll have an enjoyable stay in this small town of ours, which happens to also be a cradle of crop cooperative movements in Africa. The first crop cooperative movement, as we understand it, in Africa was here. That was the Kilimanjaro Native Cooperative Union that started as a union of planters. Later, after the law was passed, was officially formed as a cooperative union. And I'm very happy about the collaboration that exists between MOSHI Cooperative University and Cooperative University of Kenya, both in terms of organizing these international conferences, but also in terms of collaborating in other areas such as staff exchange, student exchange, joint research, and so on and so forth. And I want to assure both universities that the government will support your collaboration, because a university is not a university without international contact, international collaboration, staff exchange, and so on. I am not sure, but university probably was derived from universality, which means you cannot be parochial in terms of focusing only on staff from your own country and think you can advance the frontier of knowledge. So congratulations, Professor Sife, and also our colleague from Kenya, and we look forward for more collaboration. And the chair of the council, I hope will still be around with the same docket, and therefore I accept the invitation to come to Kenya in the next international conference. Now, let me say just a few words about a university such as MOSHI Cooperative University. I'm not sure about Kenya Cooperative University. Maybe it applies. Within the framework of education reforms in Tanzania, what you are trying to do is to have vocationalized stream of education and an academic stream of education. And you're starting from secondary school all the way to universities. We are still struggling to grapple with how we organize, recognize, and categorize this kind of reforms. We know the vocational stream will prepare graduates for work much better than the academic stream, and we know the academic stream is extremely important, particularly in terms of pushing the frontiers of knowledge. The Cooperative University of MOSHI Cooperative University, has to align itself within that kind of vocational stream, training our students, issues related to cooperative movement. Whether you are doing accountants or economics or any other discipline, it has to be tailored to fit in that kind of structure. The temptation is quite big to try to all start off academic degrees, because maybe doing that for now appears to attract more bursaries from the government, because the university has to survive. I think that push will be big, but we are going to try to organize ourselves to ensure that we do not lose sight of the fact that we need this kind of university. The name MOSHI Cooperative University will only be meaningful if the focus is actually on cooperative. So we'll do everything to support you, even in terms of bursary, so that we don't lose focus of that. Now, let me I have looked at the list of the papers that are going to be presented here, and really, I look forward to seeing some of them, be able to read and educate myself. But I've also been thinking a lot about how we can use cooperative movements to try to solve challenges that our people face. As I think the chair of the council mentioned, I was a minister for agriculture for 1 year here in Tanzania. And even before that, this is a challenge I've been looking at. You look at the rural Africa, particularly sub-Saharan Africa, you will see a unique features that I believe cooperative movement can be a contributing factor in resolving those challenges. Agriculture in sub-Saharan Africa employs about 2/3 of the labor force. In Tanzania, it's about 58%. In most of sub-Saharan Africa, in aggregate, agriculture employs about 2/3 of the labor force. So majority of our people actually relies on rural economy, agricultural based, mostly crop production. However, agriculture in sub-Saharan Africa generally contributes about 1/3 of the national income, GDP. So 2/3 of the labor force contributes only 1/3 of the GDP. That's the situation. What it means is that we have very low yield, very low productivity in the agricultural sector. No wonder we still import food. Now you know the crisis in Ukraine. One of the largest producers of sunflower in the world, probably the leading, is Ukraine. In Tanzania, I know in Kenya, we rely on the importation of edible oil, okay, from Malaysia, and so on and so forth. We have enough land to be self-sufficient in edible oil production and should be able to export, but we actually are net importers. We spend about $500 billion of our national, $500 billion of shillings to buy edible oil from abroad. And the only reason we are doing that is because of low productivity in the farming, in the production. Low yield means the output per unit area. Low productivity means the output per unit of effort. That includes the number of hours, the fertilizer you use, the insecticides, and the land area that you deploy for farming. Again, Ukraine is one of the largest producers of wheat in the world. And both Tanzania and Kenya are net importers of wheat. It's not for lack of land that can produce wheat, but production of wheat here, the yield is extremely low, very low. Productivity is very low. Some of you will see banana around. The chair told me he passed through Tarakere, where I come from, all the way to here. He could see we live in the bush of banana. But we know that countries like Ecuador or Philippines that makes billions of US dollars by exporting banana as foods. We use banana mostly for cooking. So we have ready markets in Dubai, Middle East, and so on. And yet, productivity of banana, logistical arrangements is so poor, we do not expect, unless you make radical reforms, to start to export banana that we grow here. So when you look at the structure again, let me repeat, 2/3 of the labor force, roughly 2/3 of the population are deployed in the agriculture. But these 2/3 people produces only 1/3 of the national income. As I say, the first implication of this, and the clear, is a signal of very low productivity. It's also a reason why rural sub-Saharan Africa is quite poor. Because the national income, what you contribute in the national income is exactly what you consume from the national income. You only consume what you produce. And therefore, if 2/3 of the population contributes only 1/3 of the national income, then 2/3 of the population consumes only third of the national income. So it's not a big surprise that we have high poverty, widespread poverty in Africa. And it also means high economic inequality. Because if 2/3 of the population consumes only 1/3, who consumes the 2/3 of the national income? There's a huge disparity in terms of economic growth. So this is a structure that I think probably we should try to think how cooperative strategy can help us to resolve. And I'll use banana crop as an example because of something I talked to you, the Vice Chancellor and the Chair. Let's talk about banana. Countries that export banana mostly in the world and dominate the global market, they use large-scale plantations to produce banana because logistically it's very difficult to produce banana and export as fruits from small-scale producers. You really need to synchronize production and harvesting and cold chain systems to be able to export. So in a way, there are those who think that if we really want to resolve the problem of agriculture, we should try to get rid of small-scale farmers and try to consolidate the farms into large-scale production. And you know, the term banana republics refer to countries where huge plantations of banana, the owner of those plantations are so powerful that if the government mess up with them, they will just get overthrown. So Banana Republic is a republic that is extremely weak, controlled by business people who are running the farms. And therefore, the idea of consolidating all the farms to few individuals may not necessarily look that attractive. What if we were to try to use cooperative strategy to make small-scale farmers operate as if they're a large-scale plantation? So they synchronize the production and harvesting and the marketing. They share overhead costs and seek common market solution to their production. If we use cooperative strategy to resolve this matter, if we include, assimilate scientific knowledge, best agricultural practices, cooperative strategy may contribute in resolving this issue of low yield, low productivity, resolving the issue of widespread poverty in the rural area, and minimize the economic inequality that comes through having the largest segment of population consuming the smallest segment of the national income. We're trying to do that, and the Ministry of Agriculture has accepted to launch a banana strategy in the country. They will start in this area here. And the idea is to tap irrigation scheme in areas where we can actually, from Kilimanjaro, we have water flow that goes to Kenya. We'll not deny Kenyans the water. We'll just delay the flow of the water to Kenya. We waste a lot of water because of just we are not making use of it. Now, Chair, when you pass through Ngwasi River, so we want to, both sides of Ngwasi, we want to have farmers, they're organized with their small plots. They should coordinate their farming and use drip irrigation with the best seedlings and try to see if we introduce the cold chain system where we can harvest, go through Mombasa, take banana to Dubai, whether we can not actually increase the yield of banana and the income of the farmers to try as a first step of resolving this issue. And I believe if we are to do that crop by crop, there is a huge chance that we can resolve this structural imbalance in our economy to solve the problem of poverty in the rural area, increase our export, and minimize the inequality. So I challenge you in your discussion, and I think I've seen a few papers dealing with crop. Of course, there are issues, financial, building societies, SACCOs, and so on. But I think this issue also is quite important. If experts from here, from university here, Kenya University of cooperative again. I invited the chair because I come from this area. Maybe around Christmas, if we cross the border, come home, sit over a good local drink. We can discuss how we can collaborate to resolve this issue. I know you have huge agenda in front of you, so I'm not going to consume more of your time. I just feel now it's my honor to declare that this international conference is officially open. Thank you.
Tumedhamiria, tunaboresha elimu yetu.